Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Willie Morgan Show with Manchester United icon Willie Morgan. Recording now into March already, and it'll be summer before we know it. I hope the weather in Scotland today is dreadful, but it's delightful down where you are, Willie. First of all, how are you?
It's been lovely, and hello to everyone who's listening, and obviously the viewers on YouTube. Yeah, the weather's been great here. Played golf. Hopefully the weather's going to be nice tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. I'll be playing golf then as well. So no, we've been lucky with the weather. We've had some bad weather, obviously, in the past week or so. It's not been great, but it's been good at the moment. And well, I'm on one, I believe it's Derek Johnson. He's going to be 60 on Friday, I believe. So Derek, if you're listening, I hope you have a great birthday. Many happy returns from Callum and I, and I hope you have a great time. I know you're a Man United supporter. And of course, like the rest of us, we're all in the doldrums at the moment, but I hope your birthday goes well.
Happy birthday to Derek. Completely echo that, Willie. Hopefully he has a wonderful time. Sad news, though, before we talk about current affairs, and that was the passing of Frankie Farrell, your former manager.
Yeah, well, you know, he was a nice guy, a really nice person, as was his coach. Because Frank was the manager. He wasn't a coach, he was the manager. Malcolm Musgrove was the coach that he brought with him. They were both nice people. And it's very sad. It's sad for his family, obviously. 94, I think he was, so didn't do too bad. So, you know, just commiseration to his family.
Absolutely, it's always sad when news like this comes in, and condolences, of course, with the family. Just from, obviously, we paid tribute there to Frank. We're now going to move on to the current Manchester United team. We spoke privately last week, Willie, and you said City will beat United 4-0. You were close.
Yeah, well, I didn't really, you know, I forgot about getting the odd fluke. I mean, it was a great goal. The kid took it well, really well. I mean, he made the goal himself. Oh, Pogba passed the ball to him. Yeah, really? Not to score the goal, he didn't. The kid did brilliant. It was a great goal. But as we spoke about so many times, back four, double-decker bus through them. Well, in fact, you could take several double-decker buses through them. They're dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And why? Why would you leave when the best strikers of all time, not even in the squad? What's that all about? It's crazy times. And then, of course, he comes out that, oh, well, he wasn't fit and gone to his staff. And then Ronaldo's sister comes out and said, nothing wrong with him, perfectly fit, ready to play. He didn't want him in the squad. Somebody's lying, Callum. Somebody's lying. And this is the third time. I think it happened to Lingard and Martial. They said one thing, and this geezer, maybe he doesn't speak English. Maybe that's the problem. He's talking in German and they don't understand him. You think that could be the problem?
Well, there definitely is a problem with the messages coming out. You're spot on. I mean, there has been a rumour, and I stress it's only a rumour, that Ronaldo flew back to Portugal over the weekend. Nobody's really been able to confirm that. The kind of journalists down south, nobody's confirmed that story, but that was the report. And the question I suppose I've got for you, Willie, if he flew back to Portugal because he was injured, okay, maybe he gets treatment over there, that's fine. But if he's flown back because he's found out he's not in the squad, is that disrespectful to the club and his teammates?
Well, yes, yes and no. You know, you have to look at, I don't know the situation. I do know, according to his sister, he's not injured. So he didn't fly back to Portugal to get treatment. And even if he was injured, he still wouldn't be flying back to Portugal. He'd be getting treatment at Old Trafford, obviously. You know, unless it's a long-term injury, if you're out for months and you go away to recuperate. But that's not the case. That's not the case. He wasn't injured anyway. He probably just thought, okay, he doesn't want me. Obviously, he doesn't want him. and telling lies why he's not in the squad. Why not have a weekend at home? I'm probably doing the same. It's not disrespectful to anybody. I mean, half them, they don't know each other anyway, do they? Any of the players know each other? They don't communicate on the pitch.
It doesn't look like it at times.
I think they're all strangers that just meet up for the game at the weekend. It's awful. Awful. We keep going back over the same old thing. And then not even playing Rashford. Now you bring him on. Okay, so you're having a little bit of a hard time, but you're still better than anybody else there, other than Ronaldo up front. We go to Man City to win a game and we don't have a striker. How does that work? Dennis, get your boots cleaned up. Bring the lawman back. Get your boots cleaned up. I'll come and carry you there. It'll be better than what was there, I can assure you. Now, it's ridiculous. The whole thing, it's like Fred Carnos. It's like a circus. People lying. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. And the thing that's frightening, apparently, when they bring somebody else in, this geezer's going to stay. What? I wouldn't have him within 1,000 miles of my team. He's a nobody who does nothing. I mean, you know what I think of coaches? Well, he's probably the worst one I've ever seen. Ever. I still don't know his name, but I know he's German.
just on the situation at the moment, I mean, you talked about Ronaldo there, in that situation. Under Sir Matt, what were the rules if you were injured? Did you have to go to the game to watch it while obviously your teammates played, or were you able to stay at home?
No, it depended on yourself. If you had an injury, and you'd been getting treatment all week, Matt would say, get your family away for the weekend, go and have a little break and come back on Monday and get fit again, get back to fitness and that. And other times, you went to the matches. There was no steadfast rule. There was nobody who didn't play if you were fit. No one. Even if you weren't fit, Matt would put you out. He would. I don't know, he did. He used to watch Dennis on a Friday morning when he'd been out with a little injury and he'd limp round. He said, just do a lap, Dennis. And Dennis would limp round. He said, you're perfect. You play tomorrow. It was a different atmosphere and just different. We all love Matt, everyone. But this guy has no respect from no one. No one. All the players are disjointed. But why would you leave out one of the best strikers of all time? Of all time. I mean, he's here with nobody, and he's still got, 16 goals? He's got nobody. And he still scored 16. You got to play him. He's the first name on the sheet. And the last name on the sheet would be Maguire. No, he wouldn't be on the sheet. It's my sheet. But when I don't understand the whole thing. I just don't. And it's heartbreaking for the fans. You don't know what to do. I mean, we meet and we're chatting. What would you do? I played golf with Brian McFadden on Thursday. And no, I'll tell you a lie. On Friday, I played with Brian. And last Friday. And he said, what can we do? What's the answer? It's heartbreaking for all the fans, and it is. And by the way, he won. And he didn't stop gloating until I got in the car and left. So if you're listening, McFadden, I'll be waiting on you.
Just another point I want to raise with you, someone that I know you respect an awful lot, who was a great player in his day as well, Roy Keane. He said that the United players gave up when City scored the third goal on Sunday, and he said, I don't mind losing football matches. I've lost plenty of them as a player and as a manager, but you never give up. And that's the accusation he made at those players.
Okay, I didn't see the programme, but I saw the reports that both him and Neville were saying there's 5 or 6 players who never wear a shirt again. Name names. I didn't see any names. Do you want me to name them again? do you want us to name them again, Roy? Name them. You know, we all know who. I've named them so many times. Shouldn't wear a shirt. Should never had a shirt on in the first place. They're not Man United players. They're not even average. They're less than average. And I'm being kind. So, no, I like Roy because he tells it as it is. And there's not many of them do that. You know, they're all worried about their job, sitting the fence a little bit. But he gets started, he tells the truth. But I would like him to name the players. So, Roy, if you're listening, next programme, name names.
I agree. I think it's easy to see United need to get rid of 5 or 6, but as you say, I think there needs to be clarity as to who he's talking about. I think we all know, as you've said, there's certain names that are clearly obvious, but the problem, Willie, as we've talked about in this show many times, is let's take Harry Maguire as an example. Harry Maguire was signed for £80 million, and I can see you laughing as I say that. He's probably on over £100,000 a week anyway. Who on earth's going to take him?
Stevie Wonder, is he in charge of any team? Maybe we could ring Stevie and ask him to come have a look at him. He's awful. And that's the problem we have, not just him. All the players have signed. Matic, Fred, going to go. Lindelof, really. Wan-Bissaka. I don't want to go through the whole team again. 5 or 6, I think about 10, Roy, that I would get rid of overnight. But who is going to pay the wages? Good luck to them, by the way. It's nothing to do with their ability. Whatever they get paid, if someone's willing to pay them, good luck to them. Nothing wrong with that, as far as the guys are concerned. But they're just complete and utter rubbish. And you've got to get rid one way or another, whether you wipe your face. And Harry Maguire, if you went on offer now, what would you get? £5? Well, maybe not. £2.50. What do you think he's worth, Calvin?
I think the scary thing for United with players like Wan-Bissaka, who they paid £50 million for, and Maguire is, if you were getting rid of these guys, you probably find you're going to have to put them out on loan, because I don't think nobody's watching those two guys play and thinking, I need to bid 40, 50 million. No, nobody's thinking that. So my worry is the club will have to loan them out, which you could say is great because they're off the wage bill. But then at the same time, you're not getting that money back in to go and buy more players.
Loan them out or pay them off and just get rid. Wipe your face. Take the hit. Wipe your face. You got to. They're killing us. They're killing the club. And you know, the longer it goes, the worse it's going to get. And you look at what we've got to pick from. Matic, Fred, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw. Carry on here. Pogba. Well, he had been gone long ago. Long ago.
Well, it looks as if he will finally leave this summer for free.
No. Listen, his agent is off my Christmas card list. I've told you. He promised he'd get rid of him for us, and he's still got him there. Heartbreaking. Until it's signed, right? Until it's exchanged and the deal's done, I'll put him back on the Christmas card list. But at the moment, no. And then you look, they've just given another quite a long-term contract to Jones. What? It's frightening. who I don't know who is in charge down there behind the scenes. Because it's not the manager that's doing it. In spite of this guy, or manager, I keep saying manager, coach. It's the people behind the scenes, financial director or the football or whatever they call themselves. They've all got fancy titles nowadays, and people that didn't play, buying and selling players. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. That's the person that should be on. Whoever is hanging on to these people, whoever was there when they're buying these people, should be gone. It's heartbreaking. And it's going to be like that for a long time. And you know, there's nothing to beat. There's nothing to beat. I mean, City are not great. I know they beat us folk, but they're not great. They're not great at all. You attack City, you score goals against them. Same with Liverpool. And they're the two best teams at the moment. I mean, Chelsea's made a little bit of a comeback again there. Although I put a bid in, but I don't think it'll be accepted. I did put a bid in, Callum, yeah. What are you laughing for?
Do you know, knowing you, I wouldn't be surprised if you have.
You're putting half up. It's you and me. I said, Callum will put the other half up. I've offered 50. No,
stranger things have happened.
Hey, just never know. So anyway, apart from me, tell us about your new job at Celtic. It's been great. You've great results since you've gone there, so you must be bringing them luck.
It's been great. So the commentary's been fantastic. Really enjoying it. And the good thing is the away clubs, so Hibs so far and Livingston, Dundee United and Monday night, have been kind enough to invite us through, and we're allowed to shadow their commentary teams and take the games in, which is good because at the stage that I'm at, I'm trying to learn as much as I can, and it's good to see how other people prepare. But as you say, other than the Hibs game, which was 0-0 and it was dreadful, I was at United the day before against Watford. It was dreadful. Other than those two games, where I went away, Willie, to two games in 2 days and I didn't see a single goal, I thought about giving up with football. But other than that, the games have been good. The wins are coming in, and still top of the league with 8 games to go. So it's in our hands.
Well, like you say, it's in their own hands now. So, well, let's hope that they carry on. I think they will. I think City will win the league as well. You know, in spite of all, I mean, Liverpool were lucky again against West Ham. They're garbage, West Ham, and Liverpool were lucky. I think City are just that little bit more consistent. And I think they'll win the league. So,
on the Champions League, Willie, I can't believe I'm even asking you this question, so try not to fall off your seat laughing. It's a cup competition. Every team needs a bit of luck. Could United somehow win the Champions League?
Not in a million years.
I had to ask.
I wish. Obviously, I wish. It'd be fantastic. I can't believe we're still in it. It's mind-boggling that we're still in it. But, you know, the thing is, and we keep saying it on the programme, there are no great or no one great team anymore. They've all come to a level. The Real Madrid, Barcelona, they've all dropped levels. So there's no team say, oh, they'll win it. Anyone can beat anyone. You just need a bit of luck on the night. With a bit of luck, Maguire won't play and play Ronaldo at centre half, and that'll help because then he can break forward and score a few goals for us. Obviously, we'll need luck. We're not going to do it with skill, but we need luck. And you just don't know. You don't know. It's at the moment, football, it's very hard to predict anything in football at the moment. Apart from, you know, the trends, it's trend in the Premier League, like you said, you know, I look at the match, Man City, and say, oh, you think we'll get a result? No, I think they'll beat us 4-0. Obviously, it's 4-1. But other than that, you cannot say, I mean, everyone's up and down. You know, 1 minute, Tottenham's getting beat, next minute they're winning a game that they shouldn't win. It's just all. I just hope Burnley get out. I hope, I watched the results, obviously, and got my fingers crossed. They've had some great results, so I hope. I mean, what Newcastle's done is phenomenal, but it won't last. Okay, wait and see. It won't last. But what he's done is fantastic for the Newcastle fans. They're great fans, by the way. Newcastle fans are fantastic. The Geordies are great fans. But it won't last. But they're on a wing and a prayer at the moment. They're getting all the luck going, and everything's going their way. All the decisions, all the dodgy decisions, but they're going their way. And it's nice for them. It's nice for the fans. So I hope they stay up. Well, they'll stay up now.
Just
Burnley,
on the
Burnley's my biggest problem at the moment.
well, just on Burnley, Willie. I mean, Burnley look as if they're competing at the moment against Leeds, who are still on a sticky wicket, and a club I never thought I would think would see down there. Everton. Are Everton too big to go down?
We went there, and I was captain. Hey, claim to fame. I took Man United down, brought them back up though. No, nobody's too big to go anywhere. No one. They're on a, once you get into that rut, everything goes against you. And the running the ball, the decisions. And when we got relegated, we weren't playing badly. Umpteen games that we should have won. And at the post or the thing, ricochet in, they'd get a goal from it. Just no matter what you did, because once you're in the rut, it's very, very difficult. Very difficult to get out. It's the same when you're winning. A lot goes with you. You get the breaks. You win the 1-0. You get a goal. It's excuse me. I hope Leeds go down without a doubt. I hope they go down. I don't like Leeds, even though I nearly went. I don't like Leeds. So, and certainly from Burnley's point of view, that was a vicious game. Burnley Leeds back in the 60s, vicious. I mean, you should have swords and bayonets and all sorts of things on the pitch. It was vicious. And they hate each other. The clubs hate each other. So I hope Leeds do us a big favour and carry on playing like they are. Because when you talk about garbage, they are garbage. They are useless. So, I've sacked the manager, haven't they? The geezer's gone.
They have, so you never know.
He's so low, wasn't he? He was always happy looking.
It'll be interesting to see. And the new manager, Jesse March, he's come in. He's an American. He coached in Austria and then in Germany. Was sacked after 6 months in Germany, and now gets the Leeds job. I think we need his agent.
Was he good at his job? He got 6 months out of it. That's fantastic. Stupid. Who is appointing this guy? That's the guy you got to look for. Who's the guy behind the scenes at Leeds? I want to send him a Christmas card. He's brilliant, whoever he is.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we've got your prediction on who wins the league. You think it'll be City? Out of Leeds and Everton, who do you think goes down? If you think Burnley will stay up, Leeds and Everton, who goes down?
I think Leeds will go down. I think Everton will get out of it. I like Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard was a great player. I liked his dad as well. I used to play against his dad. His dad was a left back. I don't know if you'll remember.
Frank Senior. He was at West Ham, wasn't he? And he ended up coaching there or being an assistant manager.
Oh, he was a old time player. I used to love him. Sent him a dummy from about 50 yards. He'd tip your shoulder when he was 50 yards away, and he'd still be there when I went past. But, yeah, but Frank Senior, for me, was the best midfield player in British football. I think he was brilliant. Not an international. I think he was very average with England, same with Gerrard, average. Club players, Gerrard was a good club player, obviously, but Lampard, for me, was brilliant. He was the best, all of them. You know, of all the players that were around at that time, he was great. His goal scoring from midfield was phenomenal. He was a good player.
One former player I want to ask you about, Wayne Rooney. He's at Derby County. They had a points deduction. I think it was minus 20 points at the start of the season, or minus 17. They're in touch and distance of staying up, which is remarkable given the fact that they've not been allowed to sign any players. They've only got enough money to get until June. They need a new owner at the end of the season, or the club will go bust. Doing a remarkable job in pretty tough circumstances, I think, Willie.
I've done great. You know, whatever, you know, we spoke about Wayne Rooney before. Again, great goal scorer. For me, stick him in the 18-yard box and don't move out of there for 90 minutes. Stay in that 18-yard box, the opponents. But it was when he moved back into midfield and tried to be a maestro. He was not. He struggled really badly. But as a finisher, brilliant. And, you know, his record is his goal scoring record is fantastic. Who he's played for is fantastic. So people look up to him. He doesn't have to demand respect. He commands respect. And I don't know how he manages. I don't know if he just gets on and is a manager, picks a team, let them play, or he's trying to be a coach. I don't know. So, but he's done a great job. Be wonderful if we got out. Be absolutely wonderful. So, good luck, Wayne. I hope you do.
Well, they're certainly in with a shout, and if I get to some of our questions, one badge MUFC says, I wish United could bring players out of retirement like yourself. You wouldn't do any worse for our once proud club.
You know, can I just tell you, I was having a chat with the wife today, and I said, you know, I'm going to give Paddy and Dennis and Bobby a ring and see if they fancy. If we've got the boots still, we're going to come back. We're going to come back and play again, just for a few games, just to get us back in. Oh, it's heartbreaking. I know. You know, for all of the players from my era and from the great team to play on the pitches these people play on would be amazing. Amazing. Just to play on the pitches. Be fun. And the balls. It'd be great. Yeah, we'll see what happens, see who they bring in. But they can't keep this guy there. If this guy's going to be buying and selling, it's a joke, absolute joke. He's a numpty. Just has not a clue. So whoever's in charge at Man U now, you got to get rid of it. He should never have been there. But the fact he is, as soon as his contract's finished, he's got to go. If I was a manager coming there, he wouldn't be sitting behind me buying my players, I can assure you. I wouldn't take the job. And whoever's coming, I don't know. If they accept him, then they're struggling for a job.
Next question we've got is from Gary. Who was the funniest manager you had?
Funny manager. Ian Greaves, I think. Greaves was one of the lads. And Sir Mark was funny. You know, he makes, I told you, coming from Burnley, you only spoke to the manager when he spoke to you. You never approach a manager or talk to him or meet him outside the football club or in directors. You went, the G's just didn't. And when I went to United, you know, it was won the European Cup. And it was first weekend, you know, Paddy said, oh, we're going out for dinner tonight. The wives, you going to come? I said, yeah. I got there, Matt and Jean were there. I said, "But the manager's here." She said, "Yeah, we got every Saturday night when we're at home." I said, "Really?" And then I got a little cough. And then got to know him and played golf together. It was like a different world. And he was funny. Matt was very funny. He was just a very nice human being and funny with it. And Ian Greaves was very similar. Ian was a great manager, but Mix, one of the lads, we chatted Mix, we talked about things. He did play golf. George Mulhall did, his right-hand man. But there was no coaching. They were man, they speak to team. So I think Ian and Matt they were great to be with. And I said, Matt was forgetful. He said, "Oh, I can't stay after the golf. I've got a dinner tonight." And he said, he said, "It was a dinner, Gaffer." "Oh, it was next week." I said, "You didn't go, did you?" "Yeah." It was closed. Oh, it was funny. So, I hope that answers it. My God, hope that answers your question, Gary. I don't have COVID, by the way. It's just I've got this cough.
The next question we've got is from Sean, and he wants to know, what was your favourite drink post-match if you were going to have a drink?
Post-match, again, at Burnley, we got the bus to the ground and went in. That was it. Or you walked, depending where your legs were. We walked to the ground. And again, it's a brand new Welsh on Man United. Before the match, I was meeting at 12 o'clock or whatever, and we're going off to Davyhulme, it was in those days, Davyhulme Golf Club. For pre-match meal. What? Pre-match meal? Yeah. So the team would go off in the coach, get there, and you always had a steak. Didn't have chips. You wouldn't have chips. You had a steak. And you could have a glass of sherry. Sean, a glass of sherry. I mean, I didn't drink those days, but a glass of sherry before a match to warm up your chest. It was supposedly. And most of the players did. A glass of sherry, but that was it. But a few drinks after the match, Sean. Slightly different.
What would you have after it?
Well, I said I wasn't a big drinker. But like at the time, Bacardi and Coke was the in drink. Rum and Coke used to be vicious because it was red rum, Lamb's Navy rum, I think it was, or Captain Morgan's, and it was red and it was vicious. And then Bacardi, when that came out in the 60s, the white rum, and it wasn't nothing, it was easy to drink. So Bacardi and Coke, that's what we call Jim Baxter, the Bacardi and Coke kid. It was a favorite drink as well. So we tend to drink, I wasn't a wine drinker. I mean, I didn't know anything about wines or anything. I said I didn't drink. I didn't drink beer. The only thing that I occasionally would have, Sean, would be Cinzano and lemonade. I know, I had to wear a skirt to drink it, but never mind. Cinzano lemonade, because it was sweet and it was easy to drink. But I think Bacardi and then vodka became very popular. Vodka, Coke, Bacardi and Coke. They were the most popular drink. They weren't wine drinkers back then. So I hope that answers your question, Sean.
Last two questions. This one's from Lorna. She wants to know, as a Scotsman, do you wear a kilt to weddings or do you go for a suit?
No, I don't, Lorna. Nobody had a kilt in Socky, I can assure you. You barely had a pair of trousers, never mind a kilt. We used to get hand-me-downs, and there was definitely no hand-me-down kilts. No one wore a kilt where I came from. And of course, the only, Lorna, that's not true. When I opened the boutique in Burnley, can't remember, well, 64 or something, 65. I actually wore a kilt outside the shop, you know, for a publicity picture for the press. But that's the only time I ever wore a kilt. I don't wear a kilt.
I'm shocked at that, I have to say. I thought you would have been a kilt man at an event.
No, I'm not. I love watching the people in the kilts, but no. After I saw Andy Stewart in a kilt, I thought maybe not. Andy, Donald, where's your trousers?
Brilliant. The last question we've got this week is from Graham. He wants to know if you could have played for any manager that you didn't get the chance to play for, who would you have picked and why?
That I didn't get a chance to play for. You know, the managers that I loved at the time, I could have gone to all of them. When I left Burnley the first time, I could have gone to Bill Shankly, Don Revie, Jock Stein, and they were the managers. I mean, Don Revie, as much as I didn't like Lee, Don Revie was a great manager. Jock Stein, genius. So I was lucky, you know, apart from obviously a couple, most of the managers I played for were great. I think if I had, I would have liked to play for the Brazilian manager. His name, when I played against Brazil. What was his name? Famous back in 70s, early 70s. Come on, Callum, you're my man here. What was his name? The Brazilian manager. And after we played Brazil in the Maracanã, he did a press.
What was the year you played them in? Can you remember?
72.
So Mario Zagallo.
No, that's him. Great man. He was a great man. He said I was the best number 7 he'd ever seen, and he would love to have me in his team. And would I like to play for Brazil? Graham, most certainly I would love to play for Brazil. Who wouldn't? But other than that, no, you know, the ones that I had a chance to play for, the ones that I admired, and I didn't go because obviously I came to Man U, for me, still the greatest manager of all time, closely followed by Jock Stein. But so yeah, Zagallo. I'd like to play because I know he thought it was great, so I'd like to play for him. Yeah.
Well, just on Zagallo, quite a nice way to end. He's still living. He's 90 years old. Still living, still going, which is amazing. Won the World Cup twice as a player and as a manager as well.
Oh no, I didn't know the guy obviously, but he was the manager at the time when we played them there. Played against them 3 times, and I think he was the manager for all 3 games. Once in Scotland, once in Maracanã, and once in Germany at the World Cup. And the only thing that I didn't do, which I did eventually, was Pelé had finished with Brazil at the time, and he was in America at the Cosmos. But I eventually played against him as well. And you know the story, take me into his dressing room, and his own dressing room. I never thought of that. You know, that's something that I missed, having my own dressing room. That'd be nice. Anyway, now there's no one. Those, yes, I would have played for those. Any of those. I've been privileged to play for them because I admired all of them. And Joe Mercer, fun enough, he tried to sign me when I was coming to Man U, and I admired Joe. He was a great manager. So I hope that answers that, Graham.
Plenty of good questions again.
Well, I'm quite happy we have played for or played under, apart from McGuinness, of course, and Docherty. But other than that, I'm quite happy.
Well, as always, thank you to everyone for their questions. hopefully we can get some positive results. United play Tottenham on Saturday. Then they're in the Champions League again next Wednesday against Atletico Madrid. If they win that, they go into the quarter-finals, which, as Willie said earlier, I think would stun everyone.
Well, they had a great result in Madrid. They had a great result. To go there and draw with the team we've got, fantastic. But there's no great teams. Atletico Madrid, they're average. They're just like playing against, I don't know, Watford. They're no great teams. We just need a bit of luck. It'd be heartbreaking for them to come here and beat us after we've gone there and done the hard work. I don't think so. I think we can get through. And you know what? You just don't know. I've got my fingers crossed again. In fact, they've not been uncrossed all season. It's difficult playing golf, Callum. Got to think of it like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We just hope for the best. That's all we can do. And once again, obviously, thanks to the listeners and the viewers. I know Callum talks a lot of rubbish. I try to be sensible, but as always, keep safe, especially with this nutter in Russia. Keep safe, and may your God go with you.